Dudes, what's up? Dom B from the Dom B podcast. Check out Atheist Edge. They're all over YouTube. I watch them. I watch every episode. And I'm not lying to you. I would never lie to you. I just lied to you.
Hey guys, TJ here. This is Atheist Edge. I wanted to take the time out to introduce the next segment that we were going to do. This is a excerpt of some footage and some just audio stuff of a ride-along that I did with a police officer friend of mine. We just went with Chuck for this interview because we weren't allowed to use anybody's full names or have any footage on the screen that had any police department names or suspect information or anything, including license plate numbers and interviewees and stuff like that. So this is some footage and some audio, like I said, of some of the stuff that we encountered and some of the stuff that we dealt with in our short time together riding in Officer Chuck's squad car. There's some nifty interviews and nifty information and nifty conversations that we had while we were riding together, and hopefully this is of interest to you. I know there's been a lot of controversy involving police brutality and over policing and just the general state of policing in the United States right now. So hopefully this gives you guys some insight on what it's like a day of the life of a regular beat cop in the area where I live. So without further ado, let's get right to it, guys. So we're here with Chuck, and he's an officer with a local PD in the area, and we're gonna ride with him today and see what it's like to do the job of a police officer in the DFW area. So just kind of get some footage and have some conversations probably along the way. See what Mr. Chuck does on a daily basis. So going into the business, get some information on this call that they received. Looks like they had a report of a pickup dumping some trash on the side of the road. Apparently backed into a pole.
Negative, they did not advise one contact.
Well, we didn't see the trash, and you said they had backed into a pole or something? A tree. Yeah. Okay, a tree. Backed into a tree.
See, I like to make 3 stops a day.
Yeah.
Not necessarily tickets, but stops.
Right. At least make 3 traffic stops. I got you. Yeah. Right, just to see what's going on in the neighborhood.
Pretty much. I'm the only one free up north right now, so it's probably not a good idea for me to start making traffic stops.
Right. You need to be available if something goes down.
Yes. And one of the worst things about having this camera is forgetting that it's recording and you have to go pee.
Yeah.
I mean, it projects out this way, and but still.
So let's talk about this. You said we started talking about it earlier. I wanted to try to get it on camera, though. Your stance on. You said you weren't much of a. It's really kind of seems strange to me to hear a police officer say it, but you said you weren't really much of a gun person.
No, I don't think I've never really been much of a gun person. I think because I've traveled a lot, I've seen a lot. I've been to a lot of other countries. I've lived in a lot of countries where guns weren't allowed.
Yeah.
And everything seemed to be safer.
Yeah.
I was in Europe, and I talked to an officer there. It's been there for 30 years, and been a police officer in that city for 30 years.
Yeah.
So I asked him, how many gun-related calls have you gone to in your life? So he thought about it. He says, I think about 5. I'm like, fuck, 5?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't even, the officers don't even
Yeah.
carry guns on patrol.
Yeah, well, they did. they carried guns on patrol.
Oh, okay.
But when they're done for their shift,
Yeah.
their gun stays at the station.
I gotcha.
You know, they're very proficient at what they do, but they don't carry it when they're off duty because no one else has guns.
Right. Yeah. Do you feel like that in this country being the gun culture that it is, it kind of makes you guys' job a little bit more active than some of these other countries?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm sure you guys get, well, shoot, I mean, we saw this morning, the first thing when you got into your cruiser, two things popped up that were gun, right off the bat, that were gun related.
Yeah, gun related. Someone left their gun in the car.
Right.
Not being responsible.
Right.
And their car got broken into, and they weren't, based on all the other calls there. Hold on just a second.
Gotcha. Do what you do, man.
Control Site 2. Based on all the other burglaries in that area,
91 South Road.
they hit a bunch of different vehicles.
Yeah.
So they weren't targeting that one specific one. But just, hey, it's Texas. People have guns, and this person left it in the car, and there's no reason for it to be left in the car.
I agree. That's
And-
really irresponsible.
It's very irresponsible.
Tall head wearing all black.
Your location?
800.
And I think that's the big
Yeah,
part
okay,
about it
okay.
is the irresponsibility of others. That
121.
is why we have so many
21 in route.
gun-related calls.
Yeah. I can see that, yeah.
791
So maybe the
South
issue
Road.
is not necessarily that it's not necessarily the having the guns, it's the more people need to be, you think it's just that more people need to be trained and more people need to start being responsible,
Yes.
and it's more that than just the having the guns that's
Yes.
the problem? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I definitely be on board with that. I mean, if you're going to have them, you should at least know what you're doing. And
At least know what you're doing.
yeah.
At least understand what you.
yeah, be aware of the responsibility that you have.
You shouldn't be. Okay, you've got disabled that tag, so you can park there.
Okay. Oh, is that what that DV before the number means?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Sometimes I put it before. Sometimes I see it after.
800 miles of
That's kind of a mental habit for me. Whenever I see damage on people's car, I kind of tend to try to stay away from them on the road because I'm like,
Yeah,
you're
or-
liable to get into a wreck, it looks like.
Or not park next to them.
Or not
because
park next to
That's
them.
my biggest thing. I mean, if they don't give a crap about their own car, what makes you think they're going to give their shits about anyone
Yeah, I
else's?
know, right? It's like, yeah, don't want to get close to you at all. So yeah, it always kind of blows me away sometimes having that conversation with people about guns and stuff, and with the whole Second Amendment, stuff going around nowadays. It's like, to me, it's like, you know what? I get the self-defense thing is one thing, and people say, well, you don't need this to hunt, you don't need that to self-defend. Really, to me, the Second Amendment was never about, I don't think the intention of the Second Amendment was for personal protection. I think it was so that the populace could defend themselves against a tyrannical government. You know what I'm saying? Because we
Yes.
did it once before.
Yes.
So we put a provision in our
Yeah.
Constitution for us to be able to do that again if we needed to.
Yeah, but a lot of people
So-
think that the tyrannical government is us.
Yeah,
Our own
and
government.
and see, and this is the kind of thing I wanted to get into in this part of the conversation
We
because
didn't have a standing army at the time,
right.
so we
Yeah.
relied on the public.
Yeah, the public militias and stuff like that.
Yes.
So yeah, for the purpose of maintaining a militia.
Yes, which is still which is in the
It's in the Second Amendment.
It's in the Second Amendment.
It's
But
it's
people
part of
tend
it.
to like, you know what? Well, we'll leave that part out. Just say, "Thou shalt not infringe," or
Yeah,
something.
shall not be infringed.
Shall
Yeah,
not be infringed, and that's right there on the.
I totally agree
right
with
there
you.
in front of the NRA building.
Yep, and I totally agree with that. I think any kind of regulation. I say regulations. I mean, now I think that there are some common sense laws that we can recognize that, like, hey, don't, we don't allow minors to do anything with guns without parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we have some common sense things I think are good for gun ownership. But I think, as far as like banning certain things about guns and like certain kinds of guns and stuff like that, to me, I feel like any of that kind of stuff is unconstitutional just because we're not supposed to be limited in our abilities to defend ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to be, it says it, right? Like just like you said, shall not be infringed. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of a pure, Second Amendment purist, whereas, I think all that stuff is slippery slope. You got somebody. And I'll throw up an image so that we don't get this played or anything in the shot.
King 9695. We'll be at 2700 each side on the black Altima.
I'll just hang out.
Proceed.
So, Officer Chuck.
117.
I think you got a
Chevron on me.
speeder.
Proceed.
Alright, so she was only going about 11 over. No big deal.
Yeah. Let her know she needed to.
Doesn't seem like she has any issues here. And because of new laws now, we do racial profiling.
Yeah.
And so,
This is a good topic. Resets your cam,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
so
Right. So tell me about this policy.
just something we have to do. I don't know. Race has never really bothered me.
Right.
I mean, I could maybe to some other officers, it could be an issue, but the only issue that I have here is just having to do it.
Yeah. So
it only takes just a few seconds, but
Yeah. So you kind of disagree a little bit with the policy being
No.
a thing?
no, I don't disagree with it at all.
Okay.
No.
I
It's
tend to
just-
not disagree with that kind of thing either, only for the sense. So here's my take on it. It's like, so policing and doing things in law enforcement costs money to the taxpayer, right? And the longer you have to be paid.
Be clear that the
And-
next stop, I'll be making contact.
So-
and,
I look at it like this: like, say you had $100 and you could only, and it took you $1 to check each person at an airport, right? And you only have $100 to
correction,
spend.
W3.
Okay.
It's much more efficient to go after the people that look suspicious and profile them than it is to just stop any random person, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be stopping little old ladies with canes or walkers, right? You're going to be going after guys wearing turbans and stuff like that. You're
Okay.
at least going to check,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To me, that seems a more efficient use of taxpayer money
Yeah.
to go to the places or inquire and check the things that are more likely to be problems. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's kind of my take on it. But
Well, and the way that this one's set up, female, who's black, race, ethnicity known.
right,
I don't think I caught that. This is before the stop.
okay,
No,
right. It wasn't
I'm-
based on right.
No,
yeah.
I made the decision to stop when she was pretty far away when my radar clicked 51 and a 40.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
No. Yeah.
To know. She was born in 1982.
Now, do they want you to
supposed to-
answer yes to a certain amount of stops?
Oh, it's every stop.
They prefer that you
okay,
say the yes where you knew ahead of time.
Oh, no.
Do you
no,
not-
it's
you-
just based on.
Oh, okay.
It's going by the honor system on that.
Okay, I got you.
Passengers, reason for stop. This is just kind of
This is good
general
stuff.
thing. Did I conduct a search? No. And then everything else is just kind of blank. Result of stop. I just gave her a verbal warning. Did I use force? No.
No.
Done. And that's it. So that takes about almost 10 seconds to have someone you're talking to.
Oh yeah, sorry. Well, I'm just trying to get the
No worries.
the scoop on what the process is and stuff like that. This is really intriguing to me. So I gotcha.
I feel like I'm on comms.
A little bit, sort of. I mean, it's a small YouTube channel, but I mean,
Yeah. Well, I don't get a lot of I don't get a lot of writers.
yeah. And yes, see, police officers are real people, though. They're real guys and gals out here, just trying to make a difference in the city and protecting and serving us. So this will be a good, good bit of good bit of attention to that. So that's kind of what I was trying to do today, is just show people, hey, you're real people, just out here trying to make the best decisions you can at your job. And so that's what we're here doing, trying to figure out what you guys are doing on a daily basis, and hopefully enlighten some people out in the audience and show how, it's just a real job like any other job, man. Well, maybe not like any other job, but
No, it does. It does change you.
yeah.
I'm not the same person I was when before I started.
How do you feel like it's changed you?
I see things in a different, I guess, through a different lens. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive. I know it's, negative wise, see that, always some sort of nefarious activity going on, or it's like, oh, what do they actually mean on that? It's like, I think they're full of crap. Things like that. Positive side, break stereotypes. I've met some people that, on the surface look like, hey, they're, pillar of community, they could do no wrong. I mean, it's like, they do all these great things for all these people, and they're nice people. No, they're complete racist assholes.
Oh, wow. So you actually think your time as a police officer has actually made you more sensitive to racial issues and stuff like that than as opposed to
I can
the
see
opposite?
that.
Yeah, okay, cool. And for the better, probably, it seems like. So.
And I've met some people that just look like just straight up. It's like, man, this person just got out of prison. It's just, but nicest, most generous people you'd ever met.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh well, that kind of surprised me. And like, because if anyone else were to see that person, chances are they wouldn't give them the time of day. They would assume the worst of that person.
Wow.
And in all actuality, they're just a guy just trying to make it and doing everything he can.
That's interesting, because that actually seems kind of counter to the narrative that seems to be pushed in the media these days.
Oh yeah.
Because they say, because we have, apparently there's this, all the Chicken Littles out there screaming that the sky is falling, that we have this crisis, this, this absolutely apocalyptic situation with police officers just brutalizing people willy-nilly and all this kind of thing. So, and what you're actually saying to me now is that you actually have tempered your views on people who may appear different than you, and have learned to actually see through to the person's personality and judge them on an individual basis instead of a stereotypical basis.
Because a lot of times these people, all you need to do is just listen to them.
Right.
Just shut your mouth and listen to them.
All right. Well, you heard it here, folks.
It can change your perspective about people.
See, and that's very heartening. That's very it gives me hope.
And I'm not the only one that's like this. A lot of the people that I know are just the same.
And you think the job has made them better as people then?
For some, but not everyone's the same.
Yeah.
Some people they can't. Some officers they couldn't handle the stress. They let this job get too personal, and when someone twists off at them and yells at them, you have to know they're yelling They're yelling at this.
Yeah, right. Not
Yelling
you
at the
as a
badge.
person, right?
They're not yelling at you as a person.
Yeah.
And that, I was talking to another officer, a few years ago. It's like, they call it a shield for a reason. It's not just to protect the public, it's to protect yourself from the public, but to protect you, protect the public from us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because you
gotta
mentioned
know when to cool it.
you mentioned something about that earlier too, about how some people, like probably people with a libertarian bent, that they think that the authorities like the police and military and the government are the tyranny that exists in our society now.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine that you get a fair bit of, just like you said, how people are arguing and talking to the shield, not necessarily you as a person. They're looking at you as that tyrannical authority figure.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. But you guys have heard from the horse's mouth, as it were, that, hey, most people, most police officers are just normal people that, hey, their work can affect them in different ways. And many of them have come out of the experience, it seems like, for the better. So, hey, more power to these guys for doing their job well and being fair and balanced to the public. So,
Thank you.
Well, control site.
it's good stuff. See, and that's the kinds of conversations I like to have with people.
Yeah.
Just
I've been around. I've been off for last week. But you're not going to see me around very much longer for the rest of this month. This is my last day this month until the 27th. I'm going on vacation.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Anything weird going on?
No.
No? No weirdness? I got some weirdness going on right here next to me. Yeah. No.
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 I heard they were with y'all before.
They were.
When
Sorta.
I saw your camera, I almost started doing
Well,
the song for a second.
no, we're I have a small YouTube channel, and I'm just doing a ride along just to get this guy's perspectives on some issues, race, gun
He's one of the
control.
best you can be with.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's pretty good, man. I've met him. I met him a couple weeks ago, and man, he seems like a stand-up guy. He's real nice. So
Definitely my favorite.
cool, man. So you guys appreciate your police around here doing their jobs, and they're doing a good job for you guys and stuff.
Gotcha.
Do they seem fair to everybody to you?
Yeah.
Cool. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Treating everybody the
Him and I,
same.
we work together pretty well when he comes by.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The most action I've had today is
Horses and Tuesday.
resident right over here called for ambulance, I guess.
Okay.
But they were here for like 10 minutes,
117
so...
and 122.
Okay. You ever see that?
On my way, please, sir, for Spanish.
The truck?
Yeah.
No.
No? Damn it. All right.
And he even printed out the picture and put it in the CPO log.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool.
But besides
All right.
that, we've reached a point of actual silence. I think because I got all
Don't
that. I know.
jinx this.
Well, no, I kicked out a bunch of people out again.
Oh, okay.
A
Okay.
bunch of people out again.
Okay, good deal.
And now that I've moved in, it's even worse because now they know that I'm on property.
Yeah.
So you're the manager of the premises here?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Actually, both managers are here because he's on the other side of the building from where I'm at.
Ah.
So double the thing. You make loud, or if you're loud or having issues, we know.
Yeah. And then you have to live at work.
Yeah.
I've done that.
It's free.
Yeah,
the
it's
only
free,
reason I did
but you've lived at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's downsides.
Yes, there are
I've
downsides.
was
seen
in
a
the
couple of
military.
them stare at me when they see me, and I'm like, keep going,
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
There's
Like,
pros and
talking at
cons.
home.
Yes, there's pros and cons. All right.
Have a good day.
Hey,
See you later.
thanks, man. Awesome.
23 copy, tech.
23, go ahead.
So you see, we're here
George
mostly.
Henry Young,
Seems like
47.
mainly working class neighborhood. All different kinds of people living around here. So seems like the manager at least feels like the police here are usually treating everybody pretty fairly, pretty even-handed. So Seems like a quiet enough neighborhood.
23, copy a second.
123, go ahead.
Oh no.
Frank Zebra, 5215.
Yeah, I hope they don't send us to this one.
What do you got?
Okay, they're contacting Animal Control.
Oh.
Someone called saying that dog was ran over. It was
Yeah.
a German Shepherd, big dog.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. Hey, what happened to the guy that had the brisket? The guy that had the brisket. Now, I was here about a month, 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Guy had a smoker on a trailer.
Yeah.
Best brisket I think I've ever had.
Wow.
Holy crap. You know, it's the weekend. He's not cooking it right now. And Oakland was like, you know, I'm getting kind of hungry.
Yeah. Probably already did it for the 4th or something.
Yeah, probably. But he's out of Houston, so he probably went back to Houston.
I gotcha.
Okay. Okay, good. No one's going to a dead dog call.
You were gonna go to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I went into
Mail carrier.
I got to the station this morning, I noticed there were some couple of different little business cards and pamphlets for some religious organizations and stuff, and I was kind of like, oh man, here we go.
Of course.
Like, of course.
And it's Sunday.
And it's Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So everybody should be on their best Christian behavior right now, right?
They should. This guy right here, I can't remember his name. He kind of lives in his car.
Yeah.
I just check up on him. He doesn't bother anyone. Just need to make sure he's not dying.
Yeah.
You okay? All right. Okay, good deal.
Cool.
Then another officer came by and checked on me.
Oh.
Hey.
Well, you know, when you're the only vehicle in an abandoned building's parking lot,
Yeah.
well, tend to try to figure out what's going on. At least make sure that there's nothing wrong with, you know, you're not dying or something, I guess.
Yeah.
And see, like, this is the kind of stuff too, man. Like, you see, on these videos that they have on YouTube sometimes, it's like, they think they're, I'm being this guy's detaining me for no good reason. All that. So no, they don't. It doesn't seem like you did that at all. Just like you were just asking him, hey, what's up? What's going on?
Yeah.
You all right?
Well, I also know him too.
Oh, okay. So it's somebody you've been involved with before. Okay.
But it's getting too stupid hot for people to really hang out. So-
Yeah. It's getting to that point where you definitely don't want to be living in your vehicle right now.
Yeah.
It sucks. But unfortunately, that guy's a man, and there's not a whole lot of help for indigent men in this country, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's mainly most of the government help goes to women and children. So yeah, I kind of was like, man, we got all these business cards of these churches and religious pamphlets. I was like, man, isn't government supposed to stay out of the business of promoting religion?
Yeah, I think they do it a lot. Well, okay. So, because of what recently happened,
Yeah.
a lot of people turn to religion.
R22.
So,
122.
they need to capitalize on that.
Yeah. And I guess it's probably not them necessarily green lighting anything. They just kind of allow people to come in and leave their materials there, I guess is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's not really them promoting it. It's just, they're like, oh yeah, cool, you can leave this here. If somebody wants to pick it up, they can, whatever kind of a deal, yeah. Because, I mean, I definitely figured this subject would come up for us at some point.
Yes.
Because of the nature in which we met. So,
Yes.
I met Officer Chuck at it was a gathering for some people that we belong to a secular organization in DFW, so we're both atheists.
They have not. I haven't heard anything about putting the whole "In God We Trust"
on
the squad cards. I haven't seen that on any cars in this area.
Right.
In any other departments.
I think that little fad kind of went out of style just because so many people were complaining about it in other precincts and stuff like that. So I think a lot of the Texas jurisdictions probably have tried to move away from putting that on their cars because they don't want to risk the litigation or possible legal ramifications for it. So
just all the, the extra tweets and everything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Because, a lot of police departments are becoming more and more reliant on social media to, especially with all the things that have been happening, and
sure.
they want to project themselves in a more positive light.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, they don't want the bad publicity is basically what it is. Yeah. And I can see that because, man, there's been, because of the narrative that the mainstream media is kind of perpetuating these days. Yeah, they definitely don't want to stir the pot, as it were, just because the more bad PR light that they get, it just kind of looks bad for all police officers. So, yeah.
And we've had, how many police-related contacts have we had since you've been here?
Like total, just like talking to people and just saying hello or how are you doing? I don't know. It's like maybe a little less than a dozen.
Yeah.
Just as far as like
So
actually
those
speaking to someone.
Yeah, those all count as any type of interaction.
Right.
Whether it's a traffic stop, saying, "Hey, what happened to that guy with
the brisket or whatever.
the
Yeah.
brisket?" I wasn't called to those places.
No, but you're engaging with the public regardless, and so there you go. I mean,
they've all been positive. The only negative one was
there's a stop.
the stop. If you want to count that as a negative, I interrupted their kids' breakfast. But
Yeah. Well, see, there you go. I mean, and that's a dozen interactions with police officers, and not one of them really ended with any kind of confrontation or negative consequence or negative interaction. So, yeah, I mean, I think these Chicken Little sky is falling people, they need to check their facts and actually talk to people before they
go on a ride along.
Yeah.
A lot of departments will allow the public to go out on ride along.
Yeah.
And see for yourself. I mean, that's what I did when I decided to do this job. I did some ride-alongs with a couple of different departments.
Yeah.
And it's like, I asked myself, am I able to see myself doing this job?
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
So what was your main motivation for getting into law enforcement? Help people, make a difference in the community? What kind of, it was a good job, you thought, or what was it?
Yes, I would say that part's true. Want to help people, try to want to make a difference. All those things that you say that would be expected to be heard at a job interview.
Right.
Some people, once they start the job, they start out with those good intentions, and then something happens. And they lose focus, and they don't stick to the basics, which is just the basics, because we are really just like a customer service group.
Yeah, you're here to protect the community and serve the community. So
yeah, and we're peace officers first. And then we're police officers.
Right. Yeah. Sound good.
A lot of these. Every one of these apartment complexes has some stories.
Oh, I'm sure. You've been around doing this for 10 years, so I'm sure you're privy to many of them. Just out of curiosity, would you, is it procedure for you guys to initiate on the basis of a license to carry? If you make a stop or something like that, would you be like, hey, I know you have a license to carry, do you have the weapon in the vehicle with you?
I would ask, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you guys would say something if you just knew that they had a license to carry.